Jack and Mel weigh in.
Let's get on to the Jon Jones and Reyes fight then. So, super, super close.
Can I start with saying the amount of outrage online and people calling it a robbery? It is a close fight is not a robbery.
True. It wouldn't have been a robbery either way, right?
Oh no, but a robbery to me is a clear fight. Say someone wins obviously 3 rounds and they lose a decision.
Johnny Hendricks, GSP.
Yeah, that's a robbery. But a close fight either way is not.
No, it's not. I didn't think that was a robbery. And I also scored the fight for Jon Jones. As much as, and everybody knows, if you listen to this podcast, listen to our podcast, I give Jon Jones a terrific amount of shit.
None of us are.
Not a Jon Jones fan.
No.
But again, you can't argue with, he won the fight.
I give live Reyes the first 2 and Jones the last 3.
That's how I scored it.
And then rewatching it without commentary or the crowd. The second is also up for debate.
Yeah,
because at the time I thought 49-46 Jones was outrageous, but I can sort of see
you could
it now.
definitely make an argument for that. In the first 20 seconds or 30 seconds of round 2 is what people are talking about. After that, it was all Jones. Yeah. He controlled the distance. And they were talking about, he hasn't thrown as many strikes, but really his strikes were much, much more effective.
I also hate this relying on pure stats as well.
Yeah.
It's like because the only one they kept bringing up was like total strikes, and it was just the 5 rounds we're going. And there was about every single round there was about a differential of 4 to 5 either way.
It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
No,
I could land 4 pity patty jabs or whatever. It doesn't make up for if you hit me with 1 clean hook.
Yeah,
it's just
John Anik had a real erection for that. He kept going back talking about the numbers. He's catching up to him now.
Closing the gap. It's like it's not a race.
No, because one Jon Jones round kick to the dome, the fight finishes. Likewise, one straight left from Reyes landing clean, the fight finishes. So,
I thought, for all the talk on the way up to it, and I thought it was getting a bit ridiculous because considering they both are super athletes, that Reyes kept referring to that his game plan to beat him was athleticism.
Yeah.
I think Reyes threw this fight away.
Really?
In that he took the foot off the pedal, whether that was intentional or he just couldn't maintain that pace the whole way through. If he had kept up the first round pace, he would have won.
I don't think he could keep up that pace. I don't think it's possible. We said it on our show as well that there's this narrative in American sport that you've thrown a odd-shaped ball around a field, so you're automatically an awesome fighter.
Yeah.
That is massive piles of shit. And that is being every time, he played for the Houston, I don't know, Timberwolves or something. Yeah. It doesn't make him a good fighter. What the components of being a combat athlete are still there's a vein of it running through. Yes, there's certain elements of strength, physicality, they all exist. But just because you threw a ball around or caught a ball or you wore paths around, it doesn't mean that this is going to be.
He was saying there's this old footage of Jon Jones trying to dunk a basketball and he can't.
So
I was like, I don't care if he can dunk a basketball. There's elite athletes. I don't think elite athlete just covers all bases. If you say you're an elite athlete, you can't do everything.
You're not going to go and win the Tour de France.
Well, it's like, is Mo Farah an elite athlete?
Yeah, but
is he going to dunk a basketball?
Or are you going to put Mo Farah with Jon Jones?
Or he's going to play defensive line.
Whatever that means. I don't even know what that means. Or tight end, which sounds very creepy to me.
But I think that
Jones is a super athlete as well.
They both
diminish it.
You get to that level at pinnacle, that conical of sport at any level. You are seeing 2 of some of the most conditioned and best athletes on planet Earth. As I said, top 1% of the 100%. It's amazing.
People just miss out that it's specialised super athletes.
You have now honed these specifics. I should taken here specific set of skills to be able to do what you're doing. And now, just because he thought athleticism was going to be his key, and I would
argue that Jones's athleticism actually won him the fight because he could keep doing what he was doing from minute 1 to minute 25.
Jones looked like he was getting fitter as the fight went on.
Yeah.
Round 3, I could see a marked difference in output, a marked difference in control, in movement, in awareness, in ability. And I think also Jones' skill level was evident.
You talked about it earlier, Jones took his legs away systematically.
Yeah.
There was a few really big leg kicks, which the commentary team, they picked up on a few of them, but there was a few which just got passed over. Yeah. And that's just the nature of the beast. I suppose if you're sitting cage
that could be why the pace
But
Do you
that's,
know what I mean?
but
For Reyes. But the thing for me is, like, I had it scored 1 and 2 for Reyes, 3, 4, and 5 for Jones, with the third being, I wouldn't have been pissed off at either outcome in the third. But I definitely think, and anybody that's listening to this podcast, as you said, Andy, they know that I really like Jon Jones. Might be my least favorite fighter on the roster. But like personally, but he can fight.
Yeah, he can.
And the problem is that there's too many people who are in my shoes with that, but are like, oh, he got beat down. You know, they're just completely biased towards
like Mayweather, because he's such a piece of shit. People are going, oh well, he got hit. Oh, it was close that time.
Yeah, the 10 times. There was a brilliant thing, and I know we're digressing ever so slightly. It was a brilliant thing before Conor fought Floyd, and there was some YouTube dude had put out this thing that 10 times Mayweather got rocked. It was like in 50 fights. In 50 fights.
And even then, you're really
the highest
reaching
level
like
of competition.
And I mean, you're going back as far as Shane Mosley.
I was going to say, that
Miguel,
Mosley's the only time I can really
come
remember.
on. And you're like, oh, isn't this amazing? Look, he's vulnerable. 50 fights unbeaten. No, he's not vulnerable.
no.
I mean, somebody's hit him once every 5 fights.
Jeez.
Well, the question is, what's next for Jones? I mean, we talked earlier on in the podcast about a jaunt up to heavyweight. Is that what we see next? Do we see them run Reyes back again?
I think this was too close for comfort, and I think he'll get the big heavyweight fight. Don't be surprised if in a week or two's time, Jon Jones's team make a statement. We beat him comfortably. We went back and watched it. We're fine with it.
Yeah.
He'll have to, if they want to do it, he'll have to earn his way back.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There kind of is. There kind of is, in that, like, if you're...
They very, very rarely give a challenger an immediate rematch.
Give DC... Well, I suppose no, the DC one was different because he wasn't the challenger, he was the champ.
But also, in that respect as well, think how Jones performs in rematches.
Oh, he'll figure it out.
So, taking that rematch for Reyes mightn't be the best thing just yet. I know the money factor. Yeah, there's a financial factor involved in that, but I don't think that's the best move for him as a fighter.
Reyes' best chance? Has it now been and went?
Unless Jon Jones leaves and goes to heavyweight, yes.
No, I mean if he fights Jones again.
No, Jones buries him. Yeah, but I think that if Jones goes to heavyweight, then it's the Wild West at light heavyweight.
That's true.
Who do you see him against that heavyweight?
That's either Stipe or DC. I think that's the only options.
Rosenstrike.
I would genuinely love to see him against Rosenstrike, the Ngannou's, the Overeems. But I think we're on not borrowed time with Jones. I just don't think he's going to stick around as long.
He says 10 years. He said, like, I'll see you in 10 years. So he's 32 now. So you imagine him in maybe 10 years' time still competing. I can't see it. I don't think he's got the longevity of a Silva. I think there will be another implosion at some point.
I think he, either whether it's DC or Stipe, if he is to win either of those fights, he's not coming out the same. It's going to be ridiculously tough, and that will essentially shorten his career further.
Yeah. So we're all in agreement that Jones won?
Yes, but at the same time, I'm empathetic to people.
Of course, anybody can make an argument. And honestly, if the judges had called it for Reyes, you wouldn't have been disappointed.
No. But I think I'm more irritated by the outrage.
The full outrage of all these people.
He was robbed.
Yeah, not a robbery.
I was going back and forth with people all night on Twitter afterwards. You're blind if you see it that way. It was the biggest robbery.
No.
It was a close fight.
It was.
That's it. And you rightly pointed out, a close fight isn't a robbery. A close fight's just a decision.
Yeah.
You know, how many times have you seen a split decision? We talked about Valentino losing split decisions.
Yeah.
And you're like, is anybody whinging about that? Are you going to go back and call that a robbery? You're not. You know, it's like the Matt Hamill. There's this narrative that Jon Jones has never lost a fight. He lost to Matt Hamill. That's it. He lost the fight. It's now being marked, as you can see now, as a no contest. It wasn't a no contest. He lost by disqualification.
That's
one
of the DC fights got changed to a no contest.
But
they're completely glossing over.
Yeah, they're glossing over the Matt Hamill fight. And he was, in my opinion, rightly disqualified. He was warned about it. He did it again. And not only that, there's another thing about this fight. You talked about it in an eye poke video you put out on YouTube. Jones was being called every single time the fingers came out. You could hear the ref every time. Joan, fingers in, fingers. And a couple of times he did stretch the hands out towards the face, but they were pulled back very quickly. Was it a heavyweight fight earlier on in the UFC where the guys constantly had the fingers out? Did you see this?
It was Taffa and Adams.
Yeah.
He was at Jackson's as well.
Yes.
Because I can't remember if it was Anik or Cruz was like, oh, they surely couldn't be coaching it there.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they are.
They are. And Jones makes a wee joke about it. Sure, in his own video, he talked about, sometimes eye pokes happen, especially when you're like trying to dig at their brain.
The start of that video that I put out on YouTube, and you can find it on our channel by searching Applica Media or eye pokes in MMA. Jon Jones was like, he basically said, he was like, oh, sometimes I poke them in the eye. It's massively illegal, but I still do it. And it's just like, that's such a scumbag thing to say. Like,
similarly, in my opinion, to that knee kick, I despise that. I know it's legal. Fucking
that's a bit
like
different.
Worked a treat this fight.
It did, and I think that we talked about the leg kicks. In fact, he crushed some leg kicks in that as well.
Yeah, he actually went to, and you don't really see it much out of Jones, the traditional Muay Thai leg kick, and he finished a couple of combinations and really like dug it into the thigh.
Yeah, it wasn't the calf kick. You did throw calf kicks, but as you said, the traditional sort of thigh. Absolutely,
his legs
brutal.
are that long and thin.
Just hard.
Oh, so did anybody see the Winklejohn pad video with him?
Which one?
It's terrible. I don't know what's going on.
In what way?
It's just an awful pad video. Winklejohn just dancing around strangely, and it looks so bad for such a great coach. Clearly a great coach, but it's an awful video. And I was thinking, please don't. If this is what you're putting out, I hope you're doing this on purpose. So
that's probably
going,
maybe they are.
Oh my god, this guy's fucking terrible. Is this actual? He thinks this is good, and then behind the scenes, he's obviously much better than what he put out. I think that's what that was. He's playing a game.
I'll give mad credit to Reyes, who I severely underrated.
So did I. Criminally underrated.
We were at the London card where I still maintain he lost to Ozdemir.
Did lose that fight.
He did.
And if
not
someone,
a robbery.
If someone had told
decision.
me,
not a robbery, close decision.
If someone had told me that night, that's the guy who's going to give Jones his toughest fight or closest fight since Gus.
Gus, yeah.
I would have thought you were.
We were talking about this the other day, and I think the problem for Jones is he has looked beatable recently, like a run of looking beatable. Now he has still won, and that ultimately is all that matters. He has found ways to win, even when the chips were down.
People, sorry, while I just popped in my head, and you were talking about previous fights, people need to shut the hell up. Santos did not beat Jones.
No, he didn't.
People are going, he's essentially on a 2-fight losing streak. It was close. Yeah. Santos had his moments. Jones won that fight.
It was close. Yes. It was closer so than anyone predicted. But the problem is, and this is where I think that Jones looks really bad, is that's Thiago Santos. Look at the list of people that Jon Jones has wiped the floor with. You would expect, or we should, I suppose, because of track record, we should expect Jon Jones to deal with that in a much more efficient manner. I think it shouldn't be that close.
You after the fight, and that now, unfortunately, we have an unrealistic expectation of what he can do to everyone.
Post-USADA,
but it's just the game is catching up. Like, he has been on top for 10 years.
Just can't be on top forever.
No, you can't. You can't be. People are catching up.
People are going to catch up to him, and we are seeing it. You are seeing it. I use the analogy here of the 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
Nobody thought this could be done, but when it was done, then other guys and girls did it. So you're seeing the similar thing here with Jon Jones. People don't think that somebody can be so dominant, and when they are so dominant, they're held in this massive pedestal for so long. And now when people are climbing up to meet them, they're going like, "Oh, he's not as good as he was." Yeah. No, these people are just getting better. They're finding a way to get up. And I think if Jones goes to heavyweight, you might see a different version of Jon Jones.